Why, hello, Mr. Bumblefoot. How are you doing
Hello.
today?
I am good.
Good,
Good to
good.
chat with you.
Awesome. Thank you, man. I really appreciate this.
Likewise.
At some point, we'll be talking about it, but I'm going to actually be trying to use this YouTube channel to promote a nonprofit charity I'm starting. So,
Oh,
with
nice.
you being the first guest, this will allow me to get other guests as well. And it's like, hey, you know, Ron came on. Um, good luck. Good luck beating him. Um, I'm thinking I'm going to call it the Placeholder Podcast, which is kind of tongue in cheek, so we'll see. I wanted to start with something that I think you're pretty passionate about, and that's musical independence. Um, so I know Frank Zappa was really into owning all your own stuff, and I know Steve Vai is as well. What does that actually look like as far as I am a young musician and I want to own all of my stuff?
Well, it is a lot easier to do now than it was years ago when all the major gatekeepers stopped you from getting through and you had to pay the asshole tax in
Mm-hmm.
order to get through. So now it's very simple. As a musician, let's say you wrote a song, you recorded the song, and you want to put the song out there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, let's say we're just speaking for America. It's the same pretty much everywhere, but just to talk about the different organizations, I'll use America as the one.
Sure.
Uh, you take your recording of the song and you copyright it. Use the SR form, sound recording, which covers not just the recording, but the song itself. Because they're two different things.
Okay.
When you write a song, you wrote a song. It's kind of like an idea. When you record the song, that is something that could be used to sell or to listen to or something. And that's a separate thing from just writing a song.
Okay.
So you can have two different things going on where, let's say, you're the songwriter and you own
Mm-hmm.
the copyright of the song, but your record company owns the copyright of the recording. They own and control the recording of it because they paid for your studio time and you signed that deal and said that that's the deal. So there's that. What you want to do is you want to own both. In a
Mm-hmm.
perfect world, you will own both and you don't have to sell that part of your soul. Uh, then there are all the different agencies out there that collect royalties on your behalf for different uses.
Okay.
Now, ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, what they do is anytime in a terrestrial use, you can call it like FM radio or TV or something like that.
Okay.
If your song is used in the background of a TV show or in some way, or if it's just played on the radio,
Okay.
they fill out a cue sheet, they send it to these collection organizations. They do all the work and figure it out, and then a year later, you get couple of pennies. And but hopefully those pennies add up.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what you want to happen. So when you put your song to work out there in those kind of ways, uh, there can and should and will be, hopefully will be
Okay.
royalties that come in. So there are these income streams, and this has to do with being the songwriter. This is the publishing side of things.
Okay.
Now, publishing is it's there's two sides to that. The same way the copyright had two sides. It was like you wrote the song, you recorded the song, and they're two different things, but they
Okay.
can be part of the same. Uh, with publishing, when somebody uses your song and you're supposed to get publishing royalties for it,
Okay.
there's two sides of that too. There's the songwriter who
Mm-hmm.
gets songwriters publishing, and then there is the publishing company who they are supposed to be this other entity that goes out and pushes your song to get it onto the radio and to get it, well, more like to get it into TV, to get it used, get it in a car commercial, things like that.
So are we talking like Roadrunner or Warner, or is this different?
Those are record labels.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the ones that would put out your album and they would manufacture, and you would owe them at a 900% interest rate all the money back. And publishing is when your song is out there and somebody uses it for something,
Oh,
whether they use it for content on their radio station or they use it for background music in their advertisement or something like that. That is where publishing comes in. That's what publishing is. And that has two halves too: the songwriter and the so called publishing company or administrator, the ones that are supposed to be doing the work to make those opportunities happen.
okay.
Now, that could be the same thing as well. That could both be you. And when someone says keep your publishing, that's what they mean. Don't give it to the record label. Don't necessarily give it to a publishing company. In the past, a publishing company might give you money up front.
Hmm.
They believe that your music is going to earn for them. So they're going to give you 25 grand
Okay.
and you need that 25 grand. So you're like, all right,
All right, I'll take it.
you can have it. And once they make the 25 grand back, then there's a percentage that they split with you.
Okay.
But in this day and age, this world, uh, unless it's something huge going on and it's a good bet, keep your publishing 100% of it. Be the writer share and the publisher share. Some of these companies, they consider it all as one and only split it and give part to an outside publishing company if you designate an outside publisher and it's like, hey, we're going to change up my song. Instead of me getting 100%, I'm going to get 75%, and these folks are going to get 25% or whatever the deal is. Uh, there's that. So you have the recording and the copyright ownership of the recording.
Okay.
You have publishing, where when the music is used for some kind of purpose, uh, then you have the sales, like Spotify or buying an album, all of that.
Hmm.
Selling the music, when people buy your album or if they stream it or whatever it is, when people are getting your music, they are getting that recording in some way and they're buying it or paying for it, even if it's free and streaming and the advertisers are paying somehow or the premium customers all collectively. Uh, so then there's that aspect.
Hmm.
If you have a record deal, what will happen is that record company, until they pay off what they've invested in you to make all of it happen, they're going to make that back. And
Hmm.
very often, the situation for that historically has been pretty fucked. Uh,
Yeah.
let's say an album sells for $10, and the deal is you get $1 for every album that's sold, and the record
Hmm.
label gets nine. And the record label gave you, let's say, just $10,000
Okay.
to make your album. We'll use small numbers. Like in
Sure.
the 80s, it would have been 500,000
Yeah. Okay.
because that's how much things cost. And they would actually make the money back because people bought albums. So everything was just bigger numbers to throw around.
For sure.
So you're given $10,000 by the record label
Okay.
to make your music. And you use that to cover the recording expenses and whatever it is. And maybe there's a video budget to make a video. Good. Now you owe this bank of a record label or a record label of a bank uh, $10,000. And their rate to get it back is not when they bring in 1,000 sales at $10 each and made $10,000. It has to be 10,000 of your $1. So they will sell 10,000 albums before you see anything
What the
instead of 1,000. So it'll be they get, let's see, 10,000 albums times nine. They get $90,000, but according to their math, you still owe them 10,000 because they're not counting the money that they made. They're counting the money that you made only. So the $1 that you get per album, you have to sell 10,000 albums to pay back that
Mm-hmm.
$10,000. And then you start making whatever, then you start making your actual dollar on the albums. So it is definitely better to be independent, to own everything. Also, if the record label owns your recording forever, which they shouldn't. It should be, maybe when the deal ends, maybe they have it for another 7 years, and then you get it back if you put that into the deal. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't, they could own your music forever. And if they decide to stop uh, printing copies of it or
Mm-hmm.
to take it off the streaming sites, you can't put it back. Your music is now extinct. It can never be heard again. There's no way to find it other than illegal means. And I've been in that situation. I had that happen to me with my first two albums. After I got out of that deal, the label pulled the stuff. And this was before streaming or anything. There was no way to get my music. You couldn't get any of the stuff. And I even started my own record label, and I asked if I could license my those albums from this record label so that I could put them out. So I would manufacture, I would have the distributors, I would release it all, and this other label would get money for it because I'm licensing it from them and they own it, and they still wouldn't do it. There was no way people could ever hear those albums that I made until eventually uh, he changed his mind, like decades later, and re-released them, and then eventually sold to another company that kept them released and everything. And I remember seeing on eBay, my first album, $600 on eBay. Someone was selling it for that. They got like it was selling for that much because people couldn't get it. It was impossible to get, and it killed me. It's like this should not be $600. It's not something to be proud of. It's depressing. It's sad that it should be a $10 CD, not
Mm-hmm.
$600. Uh, yeah. So the reason I started a record label is so that that could never happen again to my music. So that if a video game company says, "Hey, we want to," if Clone Hero wants to use one of my songs, here you go. You can do it. If people want to hear my music, available everywhere. I make sure of it. As long as I'm alive, my music is out there.
That's awesome.
Uh, and that's why it is important to own your shit so that you have control of it, so that you can make sure nobody takes it away from the world. Yeah. And that people aren't also uh, stealing from you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's hard enough out there. And you want to make sure that people aren't using your music uh, to not only get rich off of, but to also screw you. uh, Definitely, I was fortunate, like with Sons of Apollo,
Mm-hmm.
Inside Out, they were a phenomenal label. They were wonderful to work with. It really was like a team, and they would work on okay, this week we're gonna to we're gonna put this on social media, and then you guys do this and make a video of this, and then we're gonna do this, and like it really was a group effort with the record label. And yeah, can't say enough good things about them. Great record label. So I've dealt with good situations, bad
Mm-hmm.
situations, and you learn from both. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. So you have the recording and the publishing, essentially, right? The two elements. And you have the songwriting and the recording.
Mhm.
Okay. And then with the publishing, which is when you put the music out there, whether that's used in a show or like an album release would be considered publishing,
Album
right?
release would be more the recording,
Okay.
but you kind of need the music released in order for people to use it. So
Okay.
it has to be recorded and available so that someone could say, yes, I want to use it for my couch store down the road. I'm selling couches and I want to use your song, an instrumental version of it. Uh, that's another reason that you also want to have control over the recording so that you can say, oh, yeah, I do have an instrumental version of it that you can use.
Yeah.
Where the record label might say, no, you can't. You can't do that. You're not allowed. Uh, we're not putting out instrumentals of your stuff, or we just don't want to be bothered with any paperwork or an extra email in order to make that happen. So if someone wants to use your music in a video game, you want to be able to say, yes, and here is the version of it that you need uh, for your purposes. So, yeah,
It's
it's
a lot.
everything is intertwined, even though they're different branches of ultimately the same tree, which is your music.
So many ways we can branch that. What's it like making your own record label?
These days, it's easy and wonderful. Uh, these days, all you have to do is, if you're gonna do everything digitally and not deal with vinyl and CDs or cassettes, uh, all you do is you sign up at TuneCore or DistroKid or CD Baby, any of the they're almost like agents for you that put your music onto all the sites, all the streaming sites and download sites for you,
Okay.
and they collect everything. So let's say TuneCore, if you go with them, spend the 50 a year for the pro plan, and you can put out your music or your other band's music or your friend's band's music
Mm-hmm.
all through it. And you decide what stores, you decide when, uh, everything. You do it all, they'll help you out if you don't have a UPC code, if you don't have ISRC codes for each song, which are just ways to track the stuff,
Okay.
to know, where they are and when they're being listened to.
Okay.
They'll do all that for you. They have their own codes that they can put in for you because most people don't have, they're not signed up with ISRC or anything like that. I did like decades ago. So when I put out albums, I have my own set of codes that I use. When I produce bands, if I'm helping them and putting it out for them, it's like, yeah, you could just use my codes. Here's the UPC, here's the ISRCs. Uh, yeah, so they do all of that. And then, like magic, your stuff is everywhere. It's on Apple, it's on Deezer, it's on Spotify, it's on YouTube Music, it's on whatever you name, it's on there. Yeah, it's great. And when they say, "What is the name of your record label?" You just say Billy Bob Badoo, and there's your record label, and
Mm-hmm.
that's it. As long as it's not taken and no one else used it.
Yeah.
If they did it, oh Billy Boo Bada,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then you're good. So it's easy as that. This is something we dreamed about years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I
For
mean,
sure.
in the 80s, the way it worked was you put an ad in the back of the local music magazine saying, uh, rock band, with the name of your band,
Mm-hmm.
sounds like, and name a few bands that you're similar to. Send self-addressed stamped envelope to, and you have your home address. And someone sends you that, and you send them back a cassette with your demo on it. And that's how you made fans and got your music out there. And the idea of, and also if you wanted people to see what you looked like or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that or find out about you, there were no websites, there was nothing. You had to get a write-up in a magazine and or a
Then you're kind
newspaper.
of beholden to the magazines and
Yeah,
that
everything
whole.
was paper.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was it. That was the only way to be seen and heard. And if you told someone from the 80s, said, in a few years, the entire world can instantly know everything about you and hear all your music. And you can even converse with them and uh, you know, you can have a relationship with your fans for real. Uh, there's so many, like just, yeah. And you don't need a record label and you don't need $1 million and you don't owe $10 million because of that $1 million. Yeah. Imagine if you can play just from your rehearsal room and the whole world can watch from their, not their TVs, but something in their hand that has all the knowledge of mankind in it. And people use it to fight. Uh,
Gotta argue about the best guitarist. It's absolutely necessary. It's the best use of not only your time, but the technology. That's what it was meant
mhm.
for.
So, yeah, that would have been Like you would think that that was 200 years away. How's that even possible?
Mm.
And here we are. Yeah. But then you could also tell them, well, the money that you make to survive as a musician, take two zeros away. Whatever, that $100 is now a dollar.
Mm.
Uh, but you have control over your life, and you don't need the extra two zeros necessarily for everything. You don't need to go into a studio for 6 months with a top name producer and spend, five or six digits. You can do it at home, and it might even sound better if you're good with the gear. Yeah, we are in a very, very good time on Earth. Doesn't always seem that way, uh, but we are.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we talk about making a living in music, right? It's not just music anymore. You can't just put out music, right? Especially with the amount that you get from these streaming services. You need, as a musician, to expand out. How would you recommend that a young musician do that? I want to make music full time. I want to be independent. Um, how would you go about that?
You have to do everything, or I should say, you have to give and share everything you have to offer. That's what it comes down to. If you took music lessons and you learned a lot of music theory and you've developed some good technique, give lessons. Teach what you learned. Teach what was taught to you so that you can do it. Teach it to other people so that they can do it. And if they value it, you can eat lunch, maybe dinner. And let's say you have that home recording studio where you're making some decent recordings. You got really good with the stuff. You learned how to do it. Teach other people how to do it. And record other people. Do it for them as well. And if they value it, you can have breakfast and maybe next lunch. Uh, Whatever you have to offer, and if people value it, that's how you're going to survive. It's not guaranteed, but that is what you should do, is whatever you have to offer. If you're good at songwriting, start writing, helping other people, collaborate, write songs with them. If you're good with business stuff, help people with the business. If you're good at art, help people with their, artwork designs and whatever it is. Whatever you have to offer, don't deny the world all of those things. And if they value them, they will, you know, help you survive. And just stick with it and just keep getting better at it all. Just keep working at it. Don't ever be complacent. Don't ever stop. Keep improving. Always realize that you are just at the beginning of the road. You are a student, and there is limitless possibilities ahead of you and things that you can learn and ways you can get better, and pursue it all. If you want to just be like, well, I don't want to do all that. I just want to play guitar. You get out of life what you put into it.
Yeah.
So you're going to be very desperate and beholden to others if all you do is just play guitar. If you just, I just want to be on stage and play guitar. But if you're not going to write songs, if you're not going to release music yourself, if you're not going to be part of the community where you learn from others and you teach others and you work with others and you help others, you're really limiting yourself. Your tree only has one branch on it. And it's not going to turn into a very big tree that way. And your life will not be quite as big, probably, as it could have been if you pursued more, if you pushed to be more. So that's what it really comes down to. If you want to survive as a musician, uh, you got to have a lot of branches to the tree. And you'll be surprised, even though you just want to be a guitarist on stage, you might find that you love taking care of business stuff and just being a booking agent for your band locally and working out deals and with the and putting together shows and packages with other bands and stuff like that. Like, you never know just in what other places your passions lie until you go there. So it's good to check out every aspect of this vast music world that has so many little branches off of those branches and everything. Even just putting out music. And there's so much to that as well. There's the marketing of it, letting people know it exists and being creative with that. And that could entail, just making really fun videos and being good at video editing for yourself or for other artists out there that you want to just help make interesting ways that people will enjoy discovering you. There's so many little things. You might enjoy being the between some record label that's trying to do cease and desists and this one and that, and just putting out fires. Being a business fireman.
Mm-hmm.
There's that aspect of it too. When you come up with ways to make a good win-win for everybody, there's
Mm-hmm.
such satisfaction in that. There is a lot to it, and ultimately, it's about people. It's about dealing with people in the way that you want to uh, collaborate, coexist, interact with other people, and just finding the ways that you really enjoy and ways that you serve the world well doing it. Yeah.
So I can't remember the interview, but is it true that you started recording? I think it was Beatles and Kiss covers when you were really young. Is that true?
Well, the Beatles and Kiss were my first loves when it comes to music. Like, they're the ones that, like, I want to be in a band. I want to be part of, one of four where we each have this personality that we contribute, and the sum of our personalities makes this sound that just lifts people up and energizes them. Yeah. So that's what made me want to do all of this. And I started very young. I heard the Kiss Alive album when it just came out. I was about to turn 6 years old. I was 5. And as soon as I heard it at that age, I was like, I don't want to be a fire truck and an astronaut and, all these, like all the stuff kids want to be. Uh, Now I want to be a fucking rock star.
Yeah.
I want to hear a screaming crowd. I want bombs going off and confetti and everything. So started working towards that immediately, just the kid version of it. I would
Mm-hmm.
cut up my own cups of confetti and do shows with my brother on drums and my neighbor on guitar, and I was on guitar. And I would pass out the little cups of confetti and let them know when it's the last song and cue them, and everyone would throw confetti in the air.
That's awesome.
Uh, we would make recordings by having a cassette player and hit record, have our little acoustic guitars, and we play. Drums are other end of the room so that they're not too loud. Now we have the music recorded, and then we would hit record on a second cassette player and play back the music we just recorded, put our faces right here, and we would sing along. And now we overdubbed our vocals onto here, and that's how we would overdub, by just playing what we recorded along with doing something live with it onto the next one that's being recorded, and just going back and forth. And I actually still have the demos. Yeah, I have them all. I put them all and made wave files of them.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, so that's how it started. And it just never stopped. Just those were the little tiny branches that grew. Those two cassette recorders turned into this entire house, which is just one big recording studio of a house. Uh, the songwriting became, lots of albums and playing in lots of bands where I was a songwriter. Uh, all of those things. Yeah. So that's really what it boils down to: is keep going. And no, it's not easy. And yeah, you're going to starve. Uh, get a job. Yeah, you don't have to starve. You don't have to destroy your life for your music. No, if anything, the more you take care of your life, the more you can be a provider for your music. So there's absolutely zero shame, quite the opposite, in being a musician with a job.
Yeah.
No, that's a good thing. Do it. Yes.
So then that begs the question: the Beatles put out a lot of stuff, right? What is your favorite Beatles album and why?
That is tough. It's because you listen to one and, like I'll listen to the early Mop Top stuff and I'll be singing along with Please Please Me and add my own harmonies as I sing it and all this stuff and just uh and then I'll listen to the final things. And I think overall, as they went through their stages and started getting more experimental, I think I gotta say, probably my absolute favorite, and nothing against Rubber Soul or Revolver or even Sergeant Pepper, has to be the stuff that ended up on Magical Mystery Tour. I Am the Walrus, Strawberry Fields. Let's just take those two songs. You could never dream up what happens in those songs. If you had to write a song, it would never be those. Nobody would. They were one of a kind, and the places that they went and the sounds that ears heard for the first time, they were doing things that were impossible in reality. They were taking tape and flipping it the other direction so time would move backwards. So you hear instead of and just things like that. Uh, yeah, it's like we take the wheel for granted, but imagine being the first person to invent the wheel and seeing it roll for the first time and being able to travel using it or move things with it. Uh, it's just, a life-changing thing. As far as music goes, if you can take yourself out of now and just empty your brain and put yourself into that time when Hendrix was making a guitar sound like nothing human ears heard before.
Yeah.
Imagine tasting something you never tasted before in your entire life, a whole new flavor, or seeing a color that you never knew existed and suddenly seeing it. The Beatles and, yeah, Hendrix, that time period of the starting in the mid 60s,
Mm-hmm.
it was people were hearing things that human ears never heard in all of human history, in all of existence. Something new that was never heard before. It's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. I the like you said, the mid '60s through whatever arbitrary part of the '70s you want to say, just it doesn't make sense how quality it was. It just, I mean, there's you can't even begin to understand the productivity and impact of the pre MTV era when it was just records and shows. It was,
And quality.
yes.
It was about quality and personality. Uh, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that back then, producers and record labels, they didn't care as much about sales as they did something being quality so that it would sell. Uh, it's they would nurture an artist even if 10 of their albums flopped. They believe in the artist, and the 11th would end up being something timeless. And that wouldn't happen starting in the 80s. It changed, the business changed, and it became more about we're going to sign you, but just as a tax write-off while we invest in this, and your music is now gone and your band is over, uh, and that's the end of that. Those kind of things would happen. But 10 years before, I mean, look at Fleetwood Mac or Pink Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they would not be what they are if they weren't given the chance to become what they are. And these days, uh, labels don't really give that chance anymore because they can't survive. They can't afford to survive and do that for the artists. So the artist needs to do that themselves and be their own label and just keep putting out their music and just let people experience the growth that they're having and see where it goes, and that's it. Yeah. But definitely 60s and 70s, uh, it wasn't formulaic. It wasn't about you need to fit the format. You need to fit into this mold, this style that this radio station is pushing, and that's how we push you so that the record will sell and we'll make our money. It wasn't about that shit. It was about, let's just make the most interesting, timeless shit that there is that people are going to love 50 years from now. And 50 years later, people still do. Yeah. That's what it should always be about. Life is pretty short. And if you could make music that's going to outlive you, that people will still appreciate, that affects people, uh, even if it's just one person, because that one person, your music, if it means a lot to them in some way, it has steered them to a place where, a better place. And from there, they can go on to affect 100 people, even though you just affected one. They affected 100 in a good way, uh, or a million, or a billion. Who the fuck knows? But that's the thing. If the goal is not a number, it's not a quantity, it's not any of that. It's the quality. It's about putting out something genuine, authentic, the best of you into the world. And by doing that, you can say, you know what? I'm okay with that. It's a good thing. It's a good feeling. And either way, the universe decides what's going to happen with it. But you decide whether you're going to give that world your best or not. If you give your best, you did your part. If the world responds to it in masses, okay. If only to a few people, okay. Anytime I get a message from someone that says, I heard this album and it meant so much to me, or if it was a song that just they were going through a dark time and that song just put a smile on their face, as corny as it sounds, everyone who puts out music experiences those messages where they feel like your music really helped someone when they needed help and you were part of that help. I'm not going to be as cheesy as to say music saves lives, but it does,
It does.
and it absolutely fucking does. And sometimes it's the only thing we have, and it's the only outside something that understands us, that speaks the words that we can't find for how we feel and who we are. Uh, and that shit is important and it matters. So, yeah, yeah. Music, if you have a good effect on just one person, it's the butterfly effect. It's that one person goes on to affect a lot of people, and you were part of the direction that they went. So there is no, the only failure in music is if you don't share it with people. Yeah. And if it's something that's not genuine that you're sharing, then you're gonna feel like you failed, like you're not real, you're a fraud, and that's hard to live with when that happens. Yeah, always put out something genuine. Fuck whatever style is popular, whatever people listen to, this, that. If your vibe, what you feel like expresses you, is doom polka, okay,
That'd be
you
sick.
put that shit out and you make it the darkest, most funeral doom, uh, best lederhosen polka that anyone has fucking heard. Yes, you want people wearing lederhosen in hell, and that's what your music feels like, doom polka, and just go for it and make it as legit as it can possibly be, and as much of your spirit and your soul and who you are,
Mm-hmm.
get it the fuck in there and put that out into the world. And if one person loves it, great. If a million people love it, great. Either one is great. Yeah. I like
So,
that doom polka.
dude, that would be fucking sick.
That has to happen. Whoever's watching this, I want to hear that
I
shit.
know they're death metal, not doom metal, but Morbid Angel mixed with Weird Al would have a good sound, you know.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a fun thought, man.
Yeah. I'm sure it can be done somehow. Like instead of blast beat sections, it would be like a yeah, and then like a slow accordion through distortion.
Yeah,
I think that needs to happen.
yeah.
It probably has. We just need to find it.
We'll find it, or we'll make it happen. You
Yeah.
gotta put out your dreams into the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, so talking about impact, classical composers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who would you place in your top three? Because you're familiar with classical, right? You're a fan of
Yeah.
classical. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You get three, and
Between Baroque and Romantic era and more modern and all right.
let's say Baroque and like Beethoven, Bach era, like
Yeah.
those, you know, Vivaldi and kind of the more,
Uh,
you know,
I might. I mean, gotta go with Bach because it's almost seems like the bullshit go to. It's like, oh yeah, I know the name Bach. I'll go with Bach. But really, just it was just so fundamental and just bass melody, the way jazz is, and but he would go to different keys and take it to places and uh, yeah, Bach. Okay. Later on, Chopin.
show. Good choice.
Motherfucker
Nocturnes.
could
The
play.
nocturnes
Yeah.
are just so good. They're
Oh yeah.
just beautiful.
And I have covered more than one Chopin piece
Yeah,
myself
you
on
did good on that
albums.
one. You did good on that one.
Uh, and then if we're gonna get into some real psycho intense shit,
Okay.
uh, either Stravinsky or Tchaikovsky, but
Yeah,
I
Tchaikovsky's a
might have
good
to
choice.
go. Ah, it's a tough one. I love Tchaikovsky.
Yeah.
Uh, but as far as the stabbing intensity, you know what? Stravinsky.
Okay.
I'm torn between the two.
Yeah. Let's say you have a dream band. Okay. You can
Mhm.
just be the band director. You can play. It doesn't matter. But you get 5 people. Who are you gonna choose? Any instrument, and one could just be a composer. You know, anybody.
Shit. All right. Uh, well, I would not be in the band for sure. Um, Got to start with vocals.
Okay.
Bradley Delp from Boston.
Oh, okay. Good choice.
I love my singers from Eric Adams, Manowar, to Tony Harnell, TNT,
Mm-hmm.
to all the great metal singers. Uh, but I think probably the best singer ever to be in rock, Bradley Delp. If you listen to that first Boston album, then the second, it was incredible. Yeah. Fucking incredible what he did with his voice. Yeah. I mean, I love, of course, Freddie Mercury and everybody, and Rob Halford and Bruce Dickinson and Jeff Tate. But it was just amazing what he did with his voice. Just the dynamics, the expressiveness, there was nothing he couldn't sing. Yeah.
Can you
This-
remember the first time you heard that first record?
oh yeah, it was one of the first albums I ever got as a kid. And it was just, I would hear it on the radio, just hearing More Than a Feeling all the time. And then when it went into Peace of Mind, and then Foreplay, long time, boom, boom. And it's like, wow. But side two, rock and roll band and smoking, and people tended to ignore or just like downplay the last three songs of that album, which might actually be my favorites. Uh, Hitch a Ride, that solo at the end was so incredibly melodic. Something About You, great song. Uh, but Let Me Take You Home Tonight, that song, just almost gospel-y end. And man, did he sing! Holy fuck, incredible. Uh, that is the one song, if people are going to listen to Boston and want to hear how that guy sang, that's the song. Let Me Take You Home Tonight. So him on vocals.
For sure.
On guitar, that's a tricky one. If it's going to be
Whatever
just a
you
tech,
want. Whatever
okay,
you want.
yeah. See, as a songwriter and just the beautiful vibrato, I would almost say John Sykes.
Okay.
If we're going to talk technique, Max Ostro.
Okay.
In my opinion, he is the greatest technician of guitar right now in the world. Yeah. And I can't wait to see all the things he's going to do over the years. Yeah. Let's see. Bass.
Any instruments, by the way, can
Okay,
pull
it could be
from
anything. It
can
doesn't have to
pull from
be bass.
orchestra. It can pull from
Contrabassoon. It could be anything. Kazoo.
absolutely, absolutely.
Uh,
Rock the kazoo.
you know what? For piano and vocals and songwriting, Billy Joel.
Good choice.
Putting him in there. So Billy Joel, John Sykes, Brad Delp. What a fucking band.
And you got two left. You still got two.
Damn. Yeah, I'm still thinking in the headspace of typical rock band scenario. Drums. Okay. There was the great 70s classic rock band, 60s, 70s, like Keith Moon and yeah, and oh God, John Bonham.
Yeah.
It's having a brain fart.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
the one drummer that everybody can sing his drum parts. Neil. He's got to be on drums.
Yeah. There's good answer. Yeah.
And now beyond that,
So
we don't need to have a bass player. We need one more person in this band.
absolutely. Could be a songwriter. They don't have to play anything. They can.
Thinking. This is a tough one. Fuck.
Yeah.
All right, because it could be anything, anyone. Okay.
All right, what you got?
Because I think the band is already perfect. So my fifth member, I don't know if you're going to know who this is. His
Okay.
name is Reuben Kincaid.
I'm unfamiliar.
Hmm. He was the traveling manager for the Partridge Family.
Okay.
Do you know the Partridge Family?
I am also unfamiliar.
Great. Okay. The Partridge Family, okay. There was a
Okay.
family band called the Cowsills.
Okay.
And they were going to make a TV show based on this band, and it was going to be them. And at the last minute, they replaced them with a bunch of actors. Uh, Main character being David Cassidy, who had a legit career and fantastic. And Susan Day went on to do a lot of acting. Danny Bonaducci, radio personality, all kinds of things. And yeah, so it was in the 70s, and they were this traveling band in this school bus that they painted kind of weird. And Reuben Kincaid was their manager, and he was always there. And it was a series for a good couple of years that I watched as a kid. And they actually had some decent songs. Look up a song called I Think I Love You from the Partridge Family. And after that, look up one called I Woke Up in Love This Morning.
Okay.
Very interesting stuff. And sometimes it did almost get classical. And there were moments where the mom, Shirley, would play almost like a harpsichord,
Okay.
like, like the melody for one of the songs. I don't know if you'll get flagged if I play it. That's the only thing. Say, oh, copyright strike.
Um, we could maybe do a couple seconds. I don't know beyond that. I think there's like a fair use thing of like 5 to 10 seconds or something
Okay.
like that.
So I'll just play some of the chord changes that
Okay.
you might find.
Okay.
So it doesn't count. Trying to do a version that won't get flagged.
Thank you.
Let's see, another one. I'll throw in some random chords just to fuck up the algorithm. Okay. Yeah, the writing was almost classical at times, but it was like 70s rock. And real nice harmonies because the whole family singing, and David Cassidy, yeah, was a good singer, perfect fit for the music. And yeah, so the manager of the band was Reuben Kincaid, and he would drive the bus. So he is the fifth one. That is me crapping out on picking a fifth person
Yeah,
by
you
picking Reuben Kincaid. I totally just crapped out. I bailed on number 5 there
It's all good.
because the band, those 4 are so good that I can't pick a fifth beyond that. And I guess if I had to, I got to throw in a bass player.
Yeah.
See, I might also pick from Rush. Might go with Getty for the vocal harmonies, for the multi-talent, for the incredible bass playing.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Okay. Neil and Getty, John Sykes and Max. Did I say Max? No. Well, John Sykes, Billy Joel, Bradley Delp. I don't even remember who I put in the band, but yeah, let's go with that.
Okay.
What a band.
Dude.
I just hope they all get along.
Yeah, we assume.
See, that's why Reuben Kincaid would be there to put out the band fights and to
Be the diplomat, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, first time you heard Rush, what was that like?
Yeah. Which album was it? I think I didn't hear them till around 80, so it might have, you know what, I think it was Permanent Waves.
Okay.
And then I went back from there and just, the first album, Fly By Night, Caress of Steel, the live stuff, Exit Stage Left, of course, Hemispheres, Farewell to Kings. Uh, yeah. And then soon after, I remember Moving Pictures came out. And soon after that, I did have a cover band, and I was like 14 and started playing bars because in the 80s,
You could
as
do
long
that.
as you have, as long as you have a little fuzz on your lip, yeah, you're old enough. Come on in. So 14-year-olds playing bars, and half of our set was Rush, and we went into some good deeper cuts. I mean, we did Xanadu, we did, of course, the whole 2112. We did Fly By Night. We did Beneath, Between, Behind. We did Strangiato. Trying to remember what else. We did Bytor and the Snow Dog. We did all kinds of, yeah.
The poor drummer.
He nailed it. He
Yeah,
nailed it
that's
all. We were
awesome.
all Rush heads. So it was like half our set was Rush. The other half was a mix of Maiden and Ozzy and what else? A lot of Maiden and Ozzy. Yeah.
Ozzy or Sabbath?
Ozzy.
Okay.
Yeah. Because also just Diary and Blizzard were
Oh,
new albums. And we just fucking loved them. Yeah.
rest in peace to Ozzy. Just,
Yeah. Pitched a hell of a game.
dude, if there is a, you can't even say anything about his career that hasn't been said, but just fuck me, Black Sabbath was heavy.
Yeah.
Just Jesus Christ.
They were the original.
No, 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 no.
Yeah, they were the original Doom polka.
Yeah,
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 they were the Doom.
yeah. Oh, since we're talking about Black Sabbath, Dio fan?
Oh, of course, my God, yes.
Yeah,
Of course. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, besides the Dio stuff and the Rainbow stuff and definitely the Sabbath stuff. I did like the Sabbath albums without Ozzy while he was doing other things.
Mm-hmm.
I thought with Gillen, Zero the Hero, Trashed, Digital Bitch, that, yeah, Born Again. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not, yeah, now I don't trust my brain. It was called Born Again, that album. Let me double check
yeah.
it.
I have to double
Born
check that one.
Again, Sabbath. Because I no longer trust my brain.
I never trust mine. I write everything down.
I think I have just too much shit in my brain. So it all starts to bleed together. Let's look. Yeah, Trashed, Stonehenge, Disturbing the Priest, The Dog Zero, The Hero, Digital Bitch, Born Again, Hotline, Keep It Warm. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, of course.
Do
That's one
you
thing I shouldn't have doubted.
do you have a favorite Sabbath cover?
Ooh, favorite Sabbath cover. Again, let me check my brain.
Yeah, you're fine. Take your time.
Anthrax. Was it Anthrax that covered Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, or was it someone else?
Let's see.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah. I think, wait, let me check real fast.
Let's see.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't trust my brain anymore.
That's
So I'm double checking everything. But I love that. I think that Belladonna's voice, he's just such an incredible singer. And yeah, he could sing the phone book and it'll sound amazing. But when you hear him sing Journey, when you hear him sing Sabbath, it feels right. Yeah. Yeah. And so I did like that cover. The band Evoken, that Doom band that I produced,
Mm-hmm.
I recorded them. They did a cover of Snowblind from Sabbath. That was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
There's been
what
so many good covers of Sabbath. I mean, where do you begin?
what is it like? Help you help produce that, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
recorded them and
Okay.
yeah,
What is
that
it
was
like trying to record a Sabbath cover?
um it's great. You know how the song goes, you know the spirit that it should have, and you combine that with the spirit of the band,
Mm-hmm.
and you know that it's going to be an interesting mix. You know, because they're not rewriting the song, but hearing it their way. Uh, yeah, it's cool. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to cover songs you love and to hear covers of them, tributes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love covering shit. Yeah.
I mean, it's good to learn tunes. You know, that's part of it. Um, so production wise, what do you often see that bands don't understand how to do themselves? What is the huge benefit to getting a producer that knows what they're doing?
Well, a lot of times when you're too inside it, you might be thinking about what's fun to play compared to what's fun to hear.
Mm.
Uh, you might be thinking of, well, I want to use this because it meant something personal to me in some way. So I'm hanging on to it, even though it's not the best sounding thing for the song. Uh, so, how do you negotiate that musically to make it work? Uh, the biggest thing, the biggest problem, biggest mistake is uh, when bands kill the drummer. And I mean that not literally,
No.
uh, hopefully. Uh,
Yeah.
Depends on the drummer.
Yeah.
You know,
It's fine. Just get a session
some of
guy.
them I'd like to fucking choke.
Yeah, just get a
But
session guy.
when you take the drummer of your band, who is a kick ass drummer with personality and a sound and a style,
Mm-hmm.
and you remove that by quantizing him, over quantizing him,
Yeah.
and taking away the sound of his hits and the way he hits and replacing them with just stock plugins that make you sound like every other band instead of having foundation with character to it that's identifiable and gives your band a sound. I think that is a terrible injustice that bands do to themselves when they take away their drummer. You know, would you take away your singer's voice and replace it with, you know, some kind of robot voice? No, but you do it to the drummer. Uh, shouldn't. The drummer is so important to the band. If the drummer sucks, the band sucks. And if a drum sound sucks, the recording sucks. You can record everything wonderfully, but if the drums sound like shit, it's not a good sounding recording. You can have the ugliest, worst sounding guitars, but if the drums sound great, it's like, yeah, this is cool. It's got a good vibe to it. Uh, yeah, the drums are so important, and to capture them with integrity is something that I think in heavier music that I would love to see that happening more, and not just taking an easy way and saying, all right, well, we're just going to replace them with those same sounding stock replacement sounds. That's no good. And we're just going to quantize them and take away the natural feel. Yeah. So that's the one thing that I would like to see more of is the humanity of the human drummers being shown in the music for heavier music. Yeah.
Drummers. Absolutely. So that feeds into another question. What makes a good rhythm guitarist? Right? Everyone wants a solo. Ooh, here's some arpeggios. Here's the. Da, da, da. Well, but. And I was guilty. I learned a lot of soloing um, before learning um, before learning good rhythm. So, what makes a good rhythm guitarist?
Hmm. Good rhythm. Well, there's a lot of things. Uh, Depending on the type of music, also, you know, if we're talking metal, just having excellent, solid control over the boom, 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 boom kind of stuff, and being able to be creative with it, being able to hit on the upbeats, uh, especially at quicker things so that you come up with more interesting rhythms, dynamics. You don't necessarily want to go, you may want to go. Being able, a lot of it is, I'm going to be talking technical, being able to mute, play hard, soft, having a flow to it. You want to have a steady flow. Like you don't want to play a rhythm. Let's say the rhythm goes bum ba bum ba 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 bum ba bum. You don't want to go like this. You want it to be more like you're playing bum 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 bum, and this never stops, but you're just hitting in the places within that. If you take off the sound, it looks like I'm just going, but I'm just keeping a steadiness and a flow. Let's say you're doing it with a swing. Swing makes good rhythm. Having that. And just being able to add more texture and there's like a million things. What makes a good rhythm player? One that makes the song move the same way a drum beat does. If the drums make you go like this, make your head move with it. If a rhythm can do that, if a rhythm player can do that, then he's a damn good rhythm player. Eddie Van Halen, one of the best rhythm players.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about all the fancy shit he does, like the icing of the cake, but the cake itself, just the ghost notes and how some are tight, some are more open, and yeah. So definitely all of that. If you can play the guitar with drum-like dynamics, that's my stupid way to put it.
No,
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. So this is just from Wikipedia, so maybe
Oh
it's
boy,
right, maybe it's wrong.
there's a lot of bullshit on you on Wikipedia on that page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever work with Devin Townsend?
I have not.
Okay.
No, I would love to. I love that fucking guy. I love his brain. Such an interesting dude, and just like how fucking real he is.
Yeah.
We hung out a little bit on a music cruise. I think it was Cruise to the Edge. Yeah, cool dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
and of course
Genius.
genius of a
Just
yeah.
did you get a chance to I missed the opportunity, but he recently did something called The Moth. Did you get a chance to check that out? It was, I think he did something with an orchestra. Just
I don't remember
one of
because it
his
sounds familiar,
one of
but I
his
think
biggest projects that he's done and all that.
probably it's like I don't remember 5 minutes ago.
No, I got you.
Let me see. It's like I need to re-see it to remember if I saw it or not. I remember this picture. I remember the photo. Yeah. I don't know if I listened to it. I remember reading about it, like some of his interviews about it. I had to have. He had like a shitload of guests too, right?
I could see that. I don't know all
I
the
think he did.
details about it, but
Maybe he didn't. I don't know.
but
I think I, you know what? I think I embarrassingly, I think I slept on this, and I need to get the fuck into this.
Yeah, yeah. I still gotta get. I have to find where to listen to it because I've done a preliminary search and where it was originally streamed, it wasn't there anymore. So,
Well,
um,
we can go to Heavy Devi
okay.
and see what's on there. Let's see. Okay, we can go to media, latest videos, photos, docuseries. Okay, all right. There's the live stream. Let's look up the news. Diodario, cool. Very interesting. Okay, live stream the moth. Symphony Orchestra, narrative brought to light. And yeah, Mike Keneally, Darby Todd. He's fucking great. We did something together. Okay, maybe that's what I was thinking of. But who is? All right.
On air. Yeah.
Yeah, I pretty much don't know what the fuck I'm talking about regarding the moth, and I need to just like dive deep into this.
Yeah. Just genius. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, when did this come out? How
I
did
think earlier this year.
Okay. I was probably so wrapped up in my own shit that I, just with my own album coming out, that I just missed
3 months
half of the
ago.
cool shit going
3,
on.
4 months ago.
All right. I am definitely, I know what I'm going to be listening to today.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And watching.
Yeah. Yeah, if you, because I was just unable to find a link. So if you find a link, let me know. I would love to listen to that too.
Yeah, I'm on the site, just
Because I went
reading
to
up and all.
Heavy Devi and then on air, and it said it was off air. So, a little bit tricky.
Let's see, tour dates. Those are all May. And he didn't hit Jersey, but he hit New York. That's good. Cool, I'm going to dig into it. Hell yeah.
How important is a good team and support structure? It's kind of it's an obvious question that's important, but just like how much further can you get with good people around you than if you have people dragging you down?
Oh God, I mean, yeah. It's where do you begin? Yeah, if you're dealing with shitty people, you're gonna hate life. You're gonna hate what you do. You're gonna hate everything, and you're certainly gonna hate the fuck out of them. And that's no way to live. Yeah, absolutely not. And it doesn't even matter like how competent they are. If they're really good at what they do, but they're just such fucking assholes, still it's not worth it. If they just get under your skin, if they're just, if you're just surrounded by just ugly, bad souls, just get that poisonous, toxic shit as far away as possible. Yes, definitely you want to protect your sanity and your soul. That's very important just in life. And there's always so much compromise. You decide how much compromise you're willing to make when it comes to that, to deal with, just people or situations that are really bad for your sanity and your soul. Yeah. Even if they're good for your career or this or that or money, whatever it is, there's got to be, there's still a line where it's like, what's the point of having a career if you hate waking up every morning and Yeah, if you can't stand life,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean shit. Nothing means anything at that point. So yeah, if you get rid of them and you can just appreciate that the sky is blue, you're living a better life. Uh, yeah. So people that drag you down, stab them in the fucking eye. Just get them away from you.
Fuck them.
Yes, at all costs. Definitely. Just erase them from existence, your existence at least. Yeah. Just bury them in your fucking yard. Not even, that's still too close.
Yeah.
You don't want their bones near you.
Yeah.
Just keep bad people like that far away. Get them out of your life. Yeah.
So, how many? You don't have to be precise with this. How many live shows have you done at this point?
I have no idea.
Wait till
We're talking like,
yeah.
at this point, 50 years of them, if you count, like,
Yeah.
they were live shows, like when I was 6 or 7
Yeah.
and all of that. I have no idea. I mean, it's slowed down a lot, by choice over the
For sure.
last years. Uh, but yeah, well, I'm sure it's somewhere in the 4 digits. Yeah, I doubt it's 5. Because really, if you think about it, to do 10,000 shows, how many? All right, that means 10,000 shows in, all right, let's even say 30 years. Let's do the math. 10,000 shows in 30
A
years.
show every day for 365 days a year will put you at 27.3972 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta
So
have
let's say,
some. Gotta have some off time. Can't be on that Led Zeppelin schedule.
definitely not.
Yeah. So, you've had a lot of shows.
I've
What
done a lot of shows.
is the worst show you've done from technical failures?
Oh, there's been so many Spinal Tap moments.
And how did you
Uh,
get through it? That's the real question. How did you get
well,
through it?
sometimes you just laugh and there's nothing you can do. Uh, yeah. I mean, what can you do when shit happens?
Yeah.
So let me see some technical failures.
Yes, sir.
When I had a stormtrooper helmet on, a Star Wars helmet, and it was like stuck to my skin in a like a rainstorm, and it was just like, and couldn't remove it, and had to play a solo in front of like 100,000 people, and couldn't see what I was doing, and had to like stop the solo, and yeah, uh, there was that. There was uh, one time I was using my foot guitar, which is this. For those that don't know, I had this foot that looked like a guitar that looked like a foot. Yeah. I had
Yeah.
this foot that looked like a guitar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, it was a guitar, but the body of it looked like a foot that had bee like wings that would pop out when I hit the vibrato bar. And they would move with it. Like the more you push down, the more the wings come out.
Yeah.
And so I'm on stage somewhere in Europe, like 10,000 people more watching. And I'm just doing this thing and making all these weird noises with it. And then suddenly I see this wood just hit the floor and see the bottom wing just go like, like that. Like, oh, shit. And I remember I just looked at the audience and they're all silent, like, what the fuck just happened? And what was happening anyway? And remember I did like a little dance and I just went like, hold on, finger up, got rid of that guitar, grabbed another guitar and continued the solo and kept on going. Uh, what else? The European Sons of Apollo tour in 2020. The first show, something happened with my gear where uh, everything was just sounding like just a loud cable hum. It's like twice as loud as the guitar. Even it's like the guitar, no, you hear it's just like ah, and it's like shit, fuck.
Yeah.
So we just had to stop the show because it was like happening randomly. We couldn't figure it out,
Sure.
and we had to stop the show. And they're all working on it, trying to figure out what's wrong. So what did I do? I did a big Queen Somebody to Love sing along, a cappella, just no mics, anything with the crowd,
That's
you
brilliant.
know, and just somebody, 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 and just like did the whole song. We all sang together and just kept music going. Just yeah, we're all there to make music.
Have a good time.
Yeah.
Forget things for a while.
Hmm. So those are some moments that come to mind. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's the most terrifying part of a live show for me. I've never done a live show. Oh, well, I take it back. I did about 30 seconds of South of Heaven in a church for a recital. So, so we're about on the same level, but but that's a very terrifying part of it for me. Um, let's see what I
Well,
got.
that's the thing. Like anything can happen, anything can go wrong, and there's no redos for the moment. But that's also what people like about a live show, is that you don't know what's going to happen. It's like you're going there to see the show and you want to hear the songs, you want to hear them done well, but at the same time, there's the spontaneous human moments that happen that only happen once, and you got to experience it. So there's that too. And if it's something detrimental, and if you can either freak out or just get miserable, but no, it's like it's a live show. Oh, it also happened the very first Sons of Apollo show ever.
Oh,
We were
good.
on Cruise to the Edge, we were on the boat, and I start the show like there's this intro, and then I kick in and play this opening, and 20 seconds before, suddenly my wireless system goes black. I was like, what the hell happened? And it's time for me to play, and I just don't have sound, and I can't figure it out. So I just go into the audience. I mean, like, I just go into my mic and say, well, that's fucked up. And, and I just say to the audience, in the spirit of live performances where anything could go wrong, my guitar just died. So let me say thank you all for being here as we fix this. And I just spoke to the audience for a while and said, just thank them all for being here and for being part of our very first show ever. Yes. And then it kicked in and it's like, okay, we got sound, let's do it. And I started the song. That's it. So you don't turn it into a negative thing. You just laugh at it and just laugh at the fact that it's like anything can happen, and it did. Yeah. And just be human and just talk to the people and just keep your connection. Don't walk away, don't disappear. You're there, you have this connection with the audience that's happening. That's what a show is. Uh, just keep the connection one way or another. You
Yeah,
just keep going. Talk to them, whatever it is. Sing with them, something.
especially if they're there to see you. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So
good.
we talked about learning some tunes, right? So
Hmm.
let's say I go, okay, I want to learn Perpetual Burn or Altitudes, right? I got, and then I go and say, oh, and I want to learn the solo to Looking Glass by Alan Holdsworth, right?
God help you.
Um,
Yeah.
and so what? There's differences between learning the two. What are some differences that come to your mind between learning such dramatically different tunes that are both very challenging?
Uh, it's still the same approach. You listen, you retain, you translate. Uh, yeah, and it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Because as you learn it piece by piece, whether you're just grabbing sections of it, chunks of it, and getting them down, uh, or just doing it by ear or doing it by transcription, whatever it is, it's the same thing. You're still learning a guitar part. That's pretty damn tough.
Yeah.
Uh, it's to me, it's no different. It's just you take it in, you start to get it down, take in some more, get it down. Uh, yeah, I find the best way is to just take it in chunks. take just a 1 or 2 second chunk, get comfortable with it. Take the next 1 or 2 second chunk, get comfortable with it. Then see if you can get that one chunk to connect to the second chunk and do it that way. And do it slowly and work your way up. Uh, yeah, don't take it to the absolute struggle point. Work your way up to it where it's starting to not be good and pull back. And but that's really it. The only difference is the song itself, but it's still you having to tell your fingers what to do according to what you hear in your head of how the song goes that you're translating to finger language.
Awesome. Um, let's see. I'm trying to be aware of your time. Um, I guess we can talk a little bit about returns, if that works. And then,
Sure, let's.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah. Uh, fantastic fucking album, worth seeing.
thank you.
Um, I really like the tone. Okay, how do you find a good guitar tone after all this time?
Ah, it's finding the one that fits what you're picturing. Uh, I'm going to give some examples. Let me find some tones. Here's a whole bunch of weird tones. It's, I'd say good tone is more about appropriate tone, fitting tone, the one that matches. Yeah. So just finding that. If it's something that feels like it should be from outer space, you want it to have a lot of filters and delays and things. Uh, if you want it to sound more 70s, you may want it to be more dry with a biting, bright,
Mm,
fuzzy top. For a more fusiony, maybe just a warm, rounded
yeah.
mid-range that's very smooth, uh, even though there's drive to it. Uh, so for me, it is all about the Line 6 Helix. And I make my own presets
That's awesome.
and I just try to figure out the best way to just connect the blocks to make it sound like what I want to hear. Like you picture something in your head of a certain sound,
Okay.
then you say, how can I make it sound that way? Uh, like I wanted something that sounds just really, especially on the dragging, low, growly, fretless stuff. Something just really. So there's that sound, and I just tinkered until I got it. Uh, then something that sounded very kind of Star Trek theremin kind of thing. My beard always gets stuck to this. Okay.
It's too majestic.
And then something that almost sounds like some kind of communication, radio communication.
Yeah.
And so something that like is chopped and has weird delays. And then something that sounds like an alien talking to you or trying to communicate with you.
And how are you doing that one? I'm curious about that one.
So that sound, I have two delays. One is repeating a 16th note. So you play a note and then just a quarter of the tap of the foot, ba-da-da-da, 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 ba, just hits the next one, ba-da. So you play, bop. So you get ba-da for every bop. And then after it is another delay that's like 3/4 of a beat. So it's grabbing them and going but up and repeating that but up, but up, but up, but up, but up. And I follow it up with a filter that reacts to the volume of what it's receiving, where it starts off with a low tone and almost like a fast wah pedal, wah, opens up. Whoops. And depending on how you hit it, which will always be different, just humanly hitting it differently, it'll react differently every time. So it never sounds like the same synthetic thing. It just sounds a bit more like a space duck or something quacking.
Yeah.
That's what I should call it, space duck.
That's sick.
And then when things get pretty, I just wanted a good, natural, sweet sound where you could just hold notes, give them a nice vibrato, and just everything will sing. And then when I wanted it to sound like there was like utter chaos going on, I did this sound, which sounds like.
Yeah. So many sick sounds. It's awesome.
Mm,
Now, I love Simon in Space. Awesome track. But
thank you.
the one that has my heart, Moonshine Hootenanny.
Oh, all right.
I love that track. Absolutely love that track.
Cool.
It's just
That might actually be the toughest song to play on the whole album. It just doesn't stop, and it's all almost entirely on fretless. And it is just such a tough song, especially the middle section when it gets heavy and it's going back and forth, and to just try and connect it all. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Main tune. Close enough. Let's see. Oops. See what we got. Oh no, this part. What the fuck? This is gonna kill me now.
That's fucking sick. Thank you.
This next part is like fucking impossible. Uh, no! I cannot.
Why'd you do it to yourself?
I did this to myself, yes. Tough song.
Dude, yeah.
Uh, oh, fuck. No.
Such a sick tune, man. Thank you for that.
It is such a tough song.
Dude, yeah.
Cool. Good. I need to practice anyway.
What
Practice, 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 practice.
where did you go? Obviously things come out of the ether, right? Creativity, you can't. But where did you go to write that? Like that's so different.
I came home from the studio and I saw something on TV, an advertisement for some documentary on old blues dudes.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I want to watch that. And it was Lonnie Johnson was his name. And he was playing this thing and it just put me in this mood. I was like, I like that. And I just grabbed my guitar off the couch and I just started going, just. And it was just the mood that he gave me. That's how I expressed it. And then next day I went to the studio and I laid that down and then started building it. It's like, all right, so I'll take that riff and then I'll stop and put something in there that happens and stop and then go to 4 chord and back and then the 4 and the 5 and then have like a main little idea. And then again, but this time make it like really crazy and like what the hell just happened.
Yeah.
And then while writing all the Whom Gods Destroy stuff, my brain was in that weird kind of prog metal mode. And so that's where suddenly this, it's like, let's give it some unexpected kind of middle change. And all that happened. And yeah, that's just how a song happens. Just whatever random things. If I didn't come home and didn't see that advertisement on the TV for some, some documentary, that song never would have existed. It's all random.
Yeah.
And that's how every song is. It's just whatever random experience you have that you decide to turn into a song, that you just feel compelled to turn into a song. And you don't know what those events are going to be, what's going to happen, what the album will be. That's kind of why the album is so fucked up and all over the place and so weird, because just random events. It's just, I look at the album like 14 14 different days of coming home saying, honey, you wouldn't believe what the hell happened today. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll have. Let's end it with, how do I learn fretless guitar?
You pull the frets off your guitar and you start playing it. Just think of it like a slide. Whatever you would do, where's my slide? Okay. Whatever you would do as a slide, where you want to go exactly, not to where your finger is pressing the string against the fret, but you have to be the fret and go exactly where the fret would be. So it's about just that. You treat it like you have a slide on all your fingertips. And with this, it doesn't just, it's any shape. It could be anything. Mm-hmm. And you just play, and you want to just build the intonation. You have to change the way you shape chords. Like normally you might play a D, fingers are like that. If you held it the same way here, won't work. You have to push this forward, pull that back to get it on. So little things of just adjusting chord shapes. But other than that, it's all... Yeah, it's just... And you just practice, and the more you do it, the better it gets. Connect it again. Yeah. So that's it. Practice, practice, practice. You get yourself a fretless, and you practice, practice, practice. Just put your fingers where the frets would be. You don't bend the string. You slide up to whatever you would bend to. Your vibrato is back and forth like a violin or a cello, and not... Yeah. Practice, practice, practice.
Yes, sir.
That's the key to everything.
All right. We have reached the part where I would like to hand it over to you. Is there anything else you would like to talk about while I have you?
No. I think we covered a lot of good stuff here. Thank you. Thank you for your thoughtful questions and making it a really interesting conversation. Thank you so much.
The pleasure is all mine. Where can people find you, and what do you have going on that you would like to talk about?
If you go online, anything Bumblefoot, you will find me. You're going to find two things. You're going to find pictures of a chicken's foot with a big, giant, shiny wart in the middle, or you're going to find me. Yeah, you're going to find something really ugly and hideous to look at, or you're going to find a picture of a chicken's foot. So anyway, Bumblefoot.com. Yeah, my awful humor.
No, it's awesome.
So
it's celebrated here.
Good. All right. Yeah, my bad dad. All right, ready for a dad joke?
What you got?
Here we go. What do you call a fish with no eye?
What you got?
Fish.
You got me. That's fun.
Okay, so you go to bumblefoot.com or just anything social media. It's all Bumblefoot except for TikTok. Some fuckstain took the name Bumblefoot, and I will find him, and I will smite him eventually. Yeah. But until then, it's just Bumblefoot official. But everything else, yeah, Bumblefoot. Instagram, Bumblefoot. YouTube, Bumblefoot. The Facebook, Bumblefoot. All the Twitters are Bumblefoot. Yeah, and easy to see what the hell I'm doing, where I'm at, what's going on. Yeah, awesome. Very good.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Went quite a while. So I thank you very much again. Thank you for your time. This was
My pleasure.
awesome.
It felt like 45 seconds.
Oh, that's the
Great.
best compliment you could give, man. And then you're gonna get off the phone. This fucking guy.
I'm dying. I got
Oh,
God.
all
No,
right.
no, it was good. It was good hanging, good
Well,
chatting.
awesome. Well, all right. I'm about to stop the recording. So,
All right.
thank you everyone for stopping by. Thank you, Ron, for coming on. I am so glad that you did this, and it really is a blessing. Thank you.
Pleasure was mine. Thank you.